And in the top left-hand corner of the map, 6 pooling, I might add, is our Red Zerg player from Team SEV Life.
I like him more and more.
HyuN and his opponent in the lower left-hand corner. Our blue Protoss player from StarTale, down 1-2 in the set and about to be 6 pooled. It is Squirtle.
So the question is, will Squirtle go for Nexus first? That's kind of the big question right now. If he does, and HyuN finds him right away, it's going to be tough for our Protoss player to recover from. You know, we see a lot of Protoss players force back onto one base at that point if the 6 pool goes off without a hitch. But look at this. Oh, man, the probe is actually going to scout HyuN right away. Lucky break for Squirtle, scouting his opponent on try number 1. So he's going to have as much information as possible to kind of see this. But, you know, will HyuN use this to maybe kind of guess where the probe is? I mean, it doesn't really tell you a whole lot.
So,
could be either side.
Yeah, well, looks like HyuN, of course, Squirtle, of course, does know what's going on, and immediately dropping down to 13 Forge, so a little bit quicker here, and we'll see how he wants to react to this. I'm sure we'll see a pylon up at the back of his minerals pretty soon. 6 Zerglings already on the way now. That's
right. I like, too, that Squirtle harassed the drones a little bit, because when you only have 6 drones and one of them gets pulled off to deal with a harassing probe, that's a lot of your mining actually lost in that situation. So good presence of mind by Squirtle to do that. A 7th and an 8th Zergling on the way from HyuN as well, I believe.
And I just saw him click right there, so he's sending down his units to the bottom left-hand corner, and he'll have that confirmed in a second.
Yep, there it is. Okay, so no cannon on the way just yet. Is there a pylon? There is a pylon in the main. Okay, there we go. Cannon in the main as well. So he's going to be able to keep that relatively safe as well. He's going to lose his forge. He's going to lose the pylon out in front of his base, so that'll be good for HyuN. I mean, he is droning afterwards, like any good Zerg would do in a 6 pool nowadays, and he may actually get a couple probe kills too. Let's see how the control is for Squirtle.
It's been pretty good so far. Hasn't taken much damage quite yet, and HyuN, of course, Squirtle, of course, just waiting for this photon cannon to finish up, and does.
Oh, he loses a Zergling, though. That's kind of a pain. It's not going to really stop him from killing the pylon in the forge still, but, you know, in a situation like that where you know the cannon's finishing, I mean, you should probably still pull back. Maybe one of those probes was really low and we didn't see it or something like that. So now HyuN can just kind of drone up. He can make a hatchery, and he knows his opponent is going to be on one base for a good long time. So all in all, not a bad start for HyuN, despite the fact that he's going to be a little bit behind on workers.
Yeah, I mean, Squirtle, though, still certainly has a really powerful follow-up to this. I kind of like Squirtle's position right now because he was able to pick up on it so quickly. And it looks like
he did as good as he could, really.
Yeah, I mean, really did. And looks like he's going to be able to stop Hatchery from coming up for a while, too. So that's doubly annoying for HyuN.
Yeah, it's not going to be as long as it normally would be because the Zergling's already out on the map. Of course, there's even a Queen there as well to help, so the pylon's going to get canceled pretty soon here. Maybe he'll let it finish just to delay it for as long as possible. Yeah, he goes ahead and lets it finish.
Oh, yeah, there was just one Zergling sitting on it. So, yeah, so this is actually a pretty significant delay in that. Looks like Squirtle himself getting double gas back at home. A lot of players will just go for a Sentry expand afterwards, move back out into an expansion, and then decide to go down a pretty typical path. They'll actually re-wall this up at the front just like they would normally. But for now, I wonder what path Squirtle's going to go down.
Yeah, I mean, we have seen players in the past just 4-gate, too. You know, some of them just go all in at this point pretty commonly as well, and that's what HyuN's checking for. He's like, all right, are you making 3 more gateways just yet along with this warp gate research? Ran that Zergling in there a little bit early to see, but, you know, it is kind of hard to hit the timings when you've done this because they're never going to be, you know, the same each time. So thought he could get in there for some information, but didn't see a whole lot. Second gateway.
I think this could be some pressure because we do have a lot of Chrono Boosts left, and it's all going to warp gate research for now.
Yep, that's right, and it looks like that probe wants to sit there. Maybe, nope. Thought he might want to put down a 4th gateway after the resources came in, but doesn't look like it. It is going to be a Sentry expand in this case.
Yeah, 3-gate Sentry expand is pretty normal stuff, so not too surprised to see that. HyuN, on the other hand, finishing up his next hatchery for now. Looks like the Stalker is going to be enough to ward away a couple of Zerglings for the time being, dealing out some damage there, not taking too much in return. But HyuN, no gas quite yet, going up to a 3rd hatchery as well.
Yep. And once that all kicks in, he could have a pretty significant advantage here. I mean, Squirtle's going to have to make some sentries to defend. You know, like we mentioned, is a sentry expand now. And sentries cost quite a bit of gas, 100 gas for each one. That's going to really slow down any sort of higher tier tech that he wanted to do early on. And with only gateway units, most of them sentries, HyuN's going to be pretty safe for a while.
So there we go. A couple more sentries will pop out here in a second, and yeah, so he's doing all right. But as we can see, HyuN moving forward with 3 bases at the moment. Where's he at in workers? 31 for now. So essentially everything's just delayed a little bit. Getting double gas now though on 31 workers.
Yep. So I would absolutely love to see him go Mutalisks in this situation. In this where you know your opponent's not going to have Blink, you know they're probably not going to have a lot of Stalkers either. If you do something like Rush from Mutalisks, especially on a map like Entombed Valley, it could end up going very well. So we'll have to see if HyuN maybe does some sort of decision like that. He's only got 2 gases right now, but we could see him add on a 3rd and 4th fairly soon. You can, of course, just go for Ling Roach, too. I mean, any option really is open for HyuN at this point with the lead that he's gotten himself early in the game. Squirtle, though, I mean, he's done a good job of keeping up. He's dotting his I's, he's crossing his T's or whatever. He's sending his probes in. Yep, 3rd base is there. So he's keeping up with everything as best as he really could in this situation.
So HyuN getting his Roach Horn for now.
Yep.
No layer tech quite yet, but is making quite a considerable amount of gas. There's layer tech. Was waiting for that. Squirtle now sitting on 5 gates, though. 5 gates in a pretty well-developed economy. So he's sitting on 31 workers, but we'll be able to double chrono boost those in a second, unless, as it looks like he's just going to cut workers and go for a very, very strong 5 gate.
Yeah, and immediately 3-4 spine crawlers started for HyuN, but they're not going to get there in time because this is coming so fast. This map is actually not very big when you think about it. Running across there, so is he going to be ready? His Roach Warren is not finished. Squirtle might have found a really good timing here.
Yeah, neither of these Spine Crawlers. Spine Crawler's just coming up now. It looks like he is going to be able to trap a lot of those drones. Drones actually getting right on top of the sentries. Oh, but that is so much death and destruction.
HyuN could actually just be dead here. Squirtle picked a great time to come in here, attack. The Zerglings are doing some damage, but there's a warp into Zealots. Yeah, there is no way that HyuN's going to be able to stop this, even with those 4 Spine Crawlers finishing. There's just simply not enough units at the moment.
Yeah, but the Zealots there to tank damage, it is pretty ridiculous. And it looks like the Zerglings were, no, they weren't even going after the pylon. They were just trying to cut off a couple of reinforcements. But even then, Squirtle just has so much stuff going for him. HyuN actually does have a Roach Horn, but decided not to make any at the moment, just going after a pure Zergling.
Going for that 3rd so quickly was a little bit brave by HyuN in this situation. It's just not going to be a standard game when you have that happening. And yeah, I mean, he needs to defend those spines. He needs to try to let them do as much damage as they can, but I just don't think it's going to work.
Yeah, 40 supply. Actually, he did just make 7 roaches, but it doesn't matter. There's GG. Squirtle ties things up 2-2.